everyone, welcome back to the channel and thank you as always for tuning in. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Layla, the Lenormand reader, and today folks we are doing another Pick-A-Card reading. I have 5 stones here, so we're going to do 5 different readings. The question for today is, what change is ahead for me? The idea of what changes need to take place are in the making for you. You're about to turn the corner, and what do you find? These are all under the umbrella of what change is ahead for me. And the idea of what change is needed, so the advice aspect of the reading is also really relevant here. Maybe you've been stuck, maybe you've been doing the same thing and you want to change. The question is, what do you change into? What is ahead for you in terms of change? And what is the best thing to do for you to make these changes materialize? So let's go through these stones here before we start the readings. This is the beautiful Opalite stone. This is Lapis. This is the Cat's Eye. And Leopard Skin and Goldstone. So we're going to do different readings for each one. I'm going to reshuffle the deck at each turn. If you need to pause the video, go right ahead and do that so you can tune into which stone you want to resonate with for this reading. And as always, you will find the timestamps in the description box. So I will see you in your reading. Okay, Opalite group, here we are with your stone and the cards. My deck is always shuffled between readings. And for your reading, I am going to do a 9-card portrait. So this time I'm going to fan out the deck instead of dealing them out. And let's go ahead and pick those 9 cards. Okay, these are some really clear cards as far as I'm concerned, Opalite group. We are looking at making new friends, making new connections, new acquaintances. This can be in your work life, in another area of your life. We have the dog right in the middle of it all. We have the child in the cards, which is the card of new beginnings. And so this is a very, very clear message of making new relationships. The idea of love relationships is also possible. We have the sun and the moon in the cards. We have the man and the heart in the cards, and a whole lot of other lovely messages here that support you with making new relationships. You're in for a new friendship, several new friendships. A new love relationship is also possible for you. So let's go ahead and weave the cards in this portrait. We have the moon in this first diagonal. The moon covers you. It is a beautiful card of gentleness and openness and attraction. And I would say be open to receive these new connections. Be open to what others are like. Be open to different kinds of people. You know, take it easy and allow for relationships to form naturally. We have the dog and man, which clearly points to a new friendship with this gentleman. Now, this can be a new colleague. This can be another kind of person in your life, depending on what area of your life we're looking at. But I do feel that the idea of friendships and the more like the fun way, celebrating with people as opposed to working with people is what seems to me ahead, mainly because of the flowers. It's a card of celebration and festivity. And we have a lot of similarly positive cards that point to kicking back. I'm not seeing so much the work element, but sometimes the dog represents anyone in our peer group. That's why I'm putting it out there. We have the heart, dog, and sun. This is another beautiful combination for new relationships. Well, in this context, it's new relationships, friendships, lots of supports, lots of happiness with these new connections, Opalite group. The thing about the heart and dog is that it's a specific combination that points to friendship as opposed to love relationships. However, I think the friendship is in the making, but the possibility of love very much figures in the cards because of the beautiful moon and sun. So the moon, mountain, and sun brings the prospects of love. However, I have to say that because of the mountain, this can create some kind of boundary. So if you're looking to move into a new relationship, as in a love relationship, then it might be a good idea to wait until you get to know the person better as a friend. And we see the mountain T crosses the central column, which has the dog and child, clearly points to a new friendship here. And so the message is rather helpful. It's important to get to know the other person first before you decide on a love relationship. But I have to say, if you are wanting a love relationship with this person here, then we see very clearly that this can work out rather beautifully because of the right hand column. And we'll get to this in a bit. So let's continue with the rows. We have the tree, dog, and flowers. This is a lovely combination with growing friendships, deepening relationships, lots of good times. If this is about love, this points to flirting and attraction. This is also usually great for physical life, but again, I have to say that because of the cards telling us to focus on the friendship first, let's take it step by step. The idea of finding trustworthy people, growing in your friendships, in your relationships, being able to rely on them, being able to have fun with them, all of these are important for you. And we see that they are very much ahead for you. In the bottom row, we have the heart, child, and man. This is clearly a beautiful combination for a new relationship. And it mirrors other lines we've seen. The messages are recurrent and consistent across the portrait. And this is looking really positive and exciting. Clearly, you're in for a new relationship, Opalite group, at least one, possibly several, maybe in specific areas of your life. Maybe it's just friendships, but also the potential for love is very much there. So this is looking like a lovely person you're going to meet, Opalite group, at least one, maybe there's more again. Now, the columns, we have the moon, tree, and heart, and I think this has to do with growing feelings. I also feel that it's important not to rush the relationship. It is unfolding beautifully. I think there's lots of good times. We see that this T crosses the central row, and we saw here that, it's about having fun and enjoying some time with these friends or this person. It's really a very beautiful set of messages here. And we read the central column, and finally the sun, flowers, and man. I think this is an all-around, very supportive triplet for a relationship, specifically with this man, maybe with several people. Again, the sun and flowers is all around success. It has lots to do with abundance, happiness. From any angle you look at this combination, it just brings all of this wonderful positive energy to the relationship, to the situation at hand. And in love, it's also very, very encouraging with the flowers, this idea of flirting and attraction. There's lots of chemistry. We've got the sun and moon. We've got the moon that covers you. And the flowers is also great for attraction and sensuality. So all of this has wonderful potential for you. Again, the initial focus, Opalite group, is to work on the friendship, work on the relationship, getting to know them, and building trust, and letting that attraction build momentum as you move forward. So again, take your time with this. There's no need to push anything. Enjoy the process. It is looking really, really beautiful. So overall, Opalite group, you're in for a new relationship, possibly numerous relationship. It can be a love relationship that begins, or it can be friends that you make. The idea is that the social front becomes really important for you, and this can be a really exciting new beginning. So as you move into this, be open to different people, be open to get to know them, meeting a range of people, being interested in them, and really allowing, if this is about love, allowing this attraction to build up on its own. It is looking really beautiful, and a lot of good times are very probably ahead for you. So these are some lovely messages, Opalite group. A very clear theme that came up for you, I have to say. I mean, the theme of friendships and relationships is very clearly captured by this portrait. So there's no two ways about it. You are in for either one or more new relationships and possibly a love relationship. So let me know how this goes, Opalite group. I'm really looking forward to your thoughts and comments. And until we meet again, thank you so much for watching, and take very good care of yourself. Hello, Lapis group. Welcome to your reading. I've got your lovely stone here and the deck. It is always shuffled between readings. And for you, Lapis, I want to do a large hourglass. So we are focusing on the change that is ahead for you. What is that change about? What do you do about it? Let's go ahead and deal out your hourglass. Okay, Lapis group, this is a really interesting set of cards. What jumps out is the anchor. And the anchor is the opposite of change. The anchor tells you not to change. It tells you to stick with where you're at. And with the sun and house, it tells us that you stick with your current home, your current living situation. Sometimes the house can represent your team on the job, It can also be your home business if that's what you do. So with the anchor, sun, and house, you are very much in the right place, doing the right thing and pursuing the right goals. So I would say stick with that. So in that front, there is no change. But we do see that there is a change in a relationship. We have this change here happening. We've got the road and snake on either side of this line, and this does involve a person. And we have similarly tricky cards. We have the fox and mouse with the heart and dog. So this is also another indication of a relationship. So the way I'm seeing the contrast between the changes in these lines and your main central line is that you stick with what you're doing and the people around you change. So you're not the one who does the change. You stick with what you're doing. It's the folks around you who need to change. And so it's possible that a relationship falls out. Some people move out. They get out of the picture. And that is the change that you're in for. But the change is not really happening under your feet, so to speak. It's happening under someone else's feet. And that has an impact on you. I think that we're going to look at someone. It can be a friend of sorts because of the heart and dog. It tends to bring out a friend more than anything else, but it's going to depend on your situation. The fox and mouse are not so good in relationships. We've got the fox and heart. This is someone who is half-hearted, not really transparent, not really invested in the friendship or the relationship. And with the mouse, we have issues of trust. The same thing happens with the mouse and dog here. So this is a very clear line that tells us that there is a person in your life who is either draining, someone you're not really a fan of, and I think this is someone who is going to leave the picture. And then with the sun, which is a beautiful card in the middle, it's going to feel really relieving for you. So if you'd been struggling with someone had just been a pain for you, then you can look forward to that changing. The road, man, moon, and snake. These are similar indications here, except the road and snake are more expressive of the idea of moving away and someone leaving. The road and snake points to someone turning away, usually out of disappointment. With the man and moon, this points to a person, this man in your life, who seems to, I think his intentions are not really clear, a bit like with the fox and heart. It is someone who is not really transparent, probably self-interested, maybe even selfish. And so it's possible that at this point, there has to be a change. Maybe this isn't falling into place. The relationship is not really working out. And you move away from it, or by himself, he moves away. And again, this seems to be relieving. But you know what jumps out to me is the heart, sun, and moon. And this is like one of the clearest triplets of a love relationship, because the sun and moon points to a love relationship, and with the heart, it points to love. So let's build up these columns and then move into the mini portraits to see how this picture comes together. So the fox and road, it's like the dog and snake. There is someone who is leaving, just like we saw in the bottom line. This is pretty clear, and it's out of disappointment. So you see we have the fox, that is a tricky character. The snake is the same thing. So there is like a turning away out of just disappointment, falling out, or maybe seeing that this person is not what they were. Their true colors show through, and they're sort of, like a disappointment, or that's not what you expected. The heart and man by itself is a nice combination normally, but it is followed, or it is, sandwiched between these two columns. We have the mouse and moon, and that too is not so great. It's a bit like the moon and snake, where there's this shady stuff going on, because of the dark side of the moon with these negative cards here. It brings out that sense. And so I feel that this person, they're not 100% invested in the relationship, and maybe it's been like a push-pull for a while, and it's like, well, is that going to, fall into place? Is it not going to fall into place? And then finally it falls out of place, which is where it belongs, out of your situation here. Because where you are, with the anchor, sun, and house, I feel that you're really in a good place and you're happy with what you're pursuing, and you don't need this kind of noise that I'm seeing through these surrounding cards. So let's weave these mini portraits. The fox, anchor, and man, and the road, anchor, and heart. Now, this is curious, you see, because this person seems to be tricky, and yet there seems to be some kind of attachment that you could have to him, or maybe that you have to each other. And like I said, this is a very powerful line for relationships, and then maybe the mouse in here sort of dampens things a little bit. And then at the last mini portrait here, there's a very clear indication of, you know, something leaving, moving out with the mouse, house, and snake here. Is it this person that moves out? And then we've got the moon, house, and dog, which is actually really good for a relationship. So what could be going on for you, Lapis group? Is it that you are moving from one relationship to another? I have to say that is really possible. And it doesn't have to be a love thing. It can be another relationship in your life, like we suggested in the outset. You know what's really telling is the diagonals. When we weave these cards here together, watch this. This is really positive. The road, anchor, heart, sun, and moon into house and dog. It looks like a positive relationship developing here for you. There's one that you're sticking with, and then in contrast, we see the fox, anchor, man, and then sun, mouse into house and snake. So this one sort of falls away, and then this one has a lot more potential because all of the cards around it are so positive. One seems to be the one to stick and the other seems to be the one to go. So could it be that you are at a junction or you have to make a choice between people? That is possible. If so, I think you have a lot of clarity around this, not least of which because the sun is right in the middle of everything. But that this new relationship or the alternative that you will go for has actually a lot of potential. The cards around it are really beautiful. And the relationship that is going to fall out is probably clearly the one that needs to go because, again, similarly, the cards around it are really, tricky. We've got the fox, mouse, and snake in this diagonal. So it's pretty clear to me, Lapis, that you are not going to be confused about which relationship, which connection you need to go with. And so I think the change that is ahead for you is to precisely make that choice, express, and to go with it. So if you'd been wobbling about this, Lapis, I have to say wobble no more. We have the anchor in your central line, and it's definitely a good idea to build on the progress you've made. I think you can look forward to some happy times, lots of a sense of security here, lots of confidence I'm seeing that you have in yourself, and that is excellent because you probably need it, but I also think you're not worried. Again, you have clarity and it's pretty clear which connection you should go with. So this is the change that we're seeing for you, Lapis. This is quite an interesting reading. Do see that the dog and snake is the right hand side column in this hourglass. So this can be the change that you're working towards, having to decide that this person here is going to fall out of the picture, probably in favor of another. But it's not necessarily one or the other type of situation. It could just be that you are clearing yourself from someone who seems to have been not really genuinely interested, and you just want to move on with the positive energy in your life and focus on that. So I think this is the main message for you, Lapis. A fallout with a relationship or you having to make a choice express with regards to a certain connection. Go ahead and do that. It's a good time to do this. You are on a strong foundation. And I don't think there's a need to waste time on this anymore. Lapis group, just go ahead and move on. And I think you'll find that it will be easy and smooth. Hopefully it will be. But be sure to let me know. I hope you've liked these suggestions and ideas, and I'm looking forward to your thoughts and comments. And until our next reading together, thank you so much for watching and take very good care of yourself. Hi Cat's Eye group, here we are with your cards and your beautiful stone. And for your layout, I want to do a medium-sized diamond. Remember, we are looking at what change is ahead for you or what change you need to make. So let's go ahead and deal out these cards. My deck is always shuffled between readings. Okay, Cat's Eye Group. I'm really picking up the theme of work, career, and money here for you. We have the Lily and the Fish. They're both great cards for all things work and career. And we have the beautiful star here on the right-hand side of your diamond. I really think that you're in for a wish fulfillment with regards to work and career. And I really think this has to do with a contract or a project or some kind of involvement that comes through for you. And it can mean a new job that comes through for you. What's interesting is we have the book right in the middle of it all. The book is the card of mysteries. So the thing about it is that you're not sure what to expect or when to expect. And with the clouds here, you could have been just wondering, when might this happen? When might you hear? When might you get the project or the involvement here that we're looking at? So in the central row, we have the clouds, book, and star. So you might have to go through a period of waiting where you're not sure what's going on with this, you're not hearing, but then with the star, there is a happy revelation and it comes through. So you're going to have to hang in there for a bit. A little bit with the Rider, book, and Lily, the same message sort of comes through. The Rider and book suggest that the message isn't yet revealed, or it might take a while to come through. You're not sure what the timing is. The book can be a bit mysterious in this way. The Lily here points to the idea of career. This can be something new. You could be moving into a new kind of career. The book in Lily sometimes points to knowledge and experience, and so you could be moving into a new phase of knowledge in your career. Maybe you're upskilling or you're moving into a new kind of specialization, and that can be very exciting. If you need to do some studying or learning for this, then this can be a good time for it. It will certainly prepare you for it, and it will bring you that much more opportunity. Now, with the corner cards here of the square, we have the fish. We have the fish, bird, ring, and woman. So with the bird in here, I really feel this has to do with negotiations around this project or this involvement or possibly a job. It can also be a deal, by the way, if you're into investments and things like that. And the woman seems to be the person you negotiate this with. The book in the center here would point to the contract, the terms, the details of this. So it might be important for you to focus on the details to understand exactly what you're getting into. The fish book and ring is definitely a proposal, and the woman book and bird has to do with negotiating these details. So I really think you're in for a good financial element here. It is a proposal that has a strong financial element, and I think it works out really well for you. But also take the time to negotiate these terms, to ask the questions, to get into the details of it. It's going to be important, and I think it is going to be part of what makes all of this good for you. So without going through this, you might not get the best out of this deal. Now, wrapping up with the sides of the diamond, we have the rider, bird, and star. This is a lovely message that confirms that you will get the feedback, you will hear. Both the rider and the bird are messenger cards, and with the star here, it's very clear that you will get feedback. And not only that, but you will probably get the feedback that you want to hear. So this is where we see the wish fulfillment with the star. And the star, ring, and lily is very probably a work engagement or some kind of a project that you probably will be in for some time. The ring and lily are both cards of commitment, and with the star here, this can be something that you want, and so you're going to commit to for a while. The lily, woman, and clouds is pointing to this woman here. So we see that a T crosses this diagonal. She is a professional woman. She's probably related to the decision in relation to this proposal. And with the clouds, you will need to clarify the ins and outs of this. The clouds, fish, and rider is bringing up the financial matter. So we're seeing that the financial element of the proposal is something that you're going to need to work through. See how well you can negotiate this, see what you're willing to compromise. But overall, I really think this is a great opportunity for you. This will probably be a career change, a financial upgrade in relation to your work and career, or other projects in your life, or possibly deals that you were involved in. And this can prove to be really positive for you. So I'm seeing a change that comes through, a change in your work, your career, some financial elements, and I think it is something that you want. Because of the star, it is something that you want, and it is something that you will get. So this is a really beautiful set of cards for you, Cat's Eye Group. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, take the time to go through the details. It's going to be worth your time to do this, and be willing to negotiate. And then when you're ready, just engage and embrace this new opportunity, because it could change your career long term or your life path in a deeper way. So let me know how you like these ideas, Cat's Eye Group. I'm really looking forward to your thoughts and comments. And until we meet again, thank you so much for watching, and take very good care of yourself. Hello, Leopard Skin. Here we are with your reading, the cards, and your stone. And for your layout, I want to do a 9-card portrait. We are looking at what change is ahead for you, Leopard Skin, or possibly what change you need to make. So I'm going to fan out the deck this time, and I'm gonna pick out the cards. Okay, Leopard Skin. This is a really interesting set of cards. I feel you could be up against some competition. I'm getting that sense from the bear with the snake and fox here. The woman is in the center of your portrait. The ring is your cover card. This is clearly about a relationship. But I have to say, this is a really tricky person. We have both the snake and the fox next to this individual. We also have the clouds. So it's very clear that this is not someone you can trust. Now, the ring, woman, and fish points to someone who is either wealthy, or someone who is a customer, or someone who is involved with your financial affairs or your work. And we see from all of these tricky cards that you have to play it really smart with this person. You have to really be cautious, realize that she could be self-interested, that she has a certain agenda of her own. And so in terms of the change that comes through, I think the change comes in the relationship. I think the change is in her colors. Her true colors come through. So I think you need to be aware from now that this person is not what you think she is. The heart, woman, and fox is definitely someone who is two-faced, someone who is not 100% invested, someone who is half-hearted, and also someone who is not transparent. So because of your first diagonal, I think it's important to make sure that you keep the relationship at this level of professionalism. You know, the fish can also point to someone materialistic. I mean, I'm seeing the heart, snake, and fish here in this arrow, and I really don't think that it's positive for like genuine feelings. With the snake here and the fox nearby and the other cards, I think this is someone who could be potentially, you know, shallow but smart, calculating, and also materialistic, like really after her own goals. So I think you're going to see that, and you're going to want to restructure the relationship. So be sure you don't invest yourself in this person or trust this person beyond what is necessary. The ring, snake, and fox is very clear about a relationship that is not good. It can also point to cheating and third parties interfering in the relationship, things going on behind the scenes. We have the snake, woman, and mountain that T crosses this top row. And she could be someone who is away or in a different place, or perhaps she is moving from the relationship. The idea is distance and separation. That's what we're seeing from these cards. And so there is a clear suggestion here that you need to, you know, like move away from this person, distance yourself from this person, and don't be invested in her. And the fox points to the same thing. We saw this in the second diagonal. So be careful. You know, this is not someone you can trust. And I think you're going to see this and you're going to turn your game around this person. The clouds, woman, and bear. This can point to competition. I have to say that when it comes to love and romance, this can be the issue. You know, the bear can be about competition, and the snake is a third party in love and relationships. We have the ring as your first card. You know, there are love cards in the portrait, and so there could be there is a possibility that you discover that there's a third party interfering in the relationship. I have to say this. Now that's in love, but otherwise, in general, the central row here points to the idea that this person is up against competition. You know, this is not your friend. This is someone who's competing with you. This is someone who has, at least, if not directly in competition with you, they have an alternative agenda. And I think the change that comes through for you is that you find this out. You realize this about this person. The heart, mountain, and fish would be a really positive triplet. But because it T-crosses the central column, you want to be careful of the possibilities here that come through with the snake. The fish in the card points to money. So maybe this is about some financial element here. You might have it in a different place, you might not, but I think that it's important that you don't invest yourself prematurely until you know everything about this, because there are so many hidden factors here. So put things on hold. You might be pursuing something that you want, or you know, you've been investing in a project or something, and I would say that you might want to put this on hold. Another way to read the mountain here is online. You know, the mountain has to do with distance. So I sometimes take it to mean, you know, working online or doing things on the internet. And with the fish here, you know, maybe you're doing something online, maybe you're getting income online, maybe this is a customer, this is someone you meet online. You know, this is possible. Somehow it might fit into the picture. But I think that the main indication through the heart, mountain, and fish is that you might want to put some investments on hold. And the thing about this triplet is that it is positive, but because of the other cards in the portrait, it affects the line a bit differently. You know, it can't be read just like, you know, oh, it's so, you know, it's just lovely, in contrast with this. And also because it T crosses the central column with a key card, and you know, you have these arrows here. So we want to take this triplet, the positive message of this triplet, with you know, with a bit more a bit toning it down a little bit. Let's move on to the columns. We have the ring, clouds, and heart. So again, this is considerations around a relationship. You are wondering maybe how they feel about you, how she feels about you, what she thinks about you. We see that it T crosses the central row, and again, I'm getting a sense that she's not really, you know, she's not really on your side. I'm really picking this up. You know, she's up for her own goals and agendas. She's not really thinking about love and relationships in the way that you are. You know, so I want you to be aware of this. We read the central column. I think she's turning away. This is the idea of also you turning away, or at least creating some distance, because there's bad news here, you know, around this person, and I want you to be aware of it. And then the fox, bear, and fish, this is about a job. This is about work, money, the job. The bear and fish is usually a lot of money and wealth, and the fox and fish can point to the job. Along with the bear, this can point to maybe a manager or a management position. So a number of things could be at play for you here depending on your specifics. In a general sense, the change that happens is your realization of what this person is about, and that this person is not really invested in you. They're invested in themselves and herself. And so you will need to change your game around her, because you can't pursue this relationship thinking that she reciprocates in the same way that you do, when actually she's just in it for her own intentions, for her own goals. Another way you can look at this reading is that you could be going after a promotion or an improvement in your money, income, your projects, all of this. And this person here is involved in this. I think she has a key role in it, and I think she could be posing an obstacle. So for you, it's going to be about how you get around her. Okay? I think you can overcome her because this powerful line with the bear in it is on the right hand side, which tends to be associated with the outcome. But you're going to have to play this really carefully. I have to say this, she's really tricky, so you're going to have to be clever about this. And if you are, you could succeed and you could bring yourself more income or step up to a better position and do all of that. It's also possible that you compete against her for this position. That's also a possible scenario. And if that's the case, again, you want to be careful. I don't think it's easy, but I do think you have potential from this powerful line, but it's going to take some maneuvering. Okay, so see how well you manage this. I would say in general, commit to the goal. This is a worthy goal, what you're pursuing, and you could achieve it. Give it time. Be patient, be smart, be calculating, and also be aware that other people are also playing to win. It's not just you who's after their own goals, so keep that in mind. And distance yourself from people who are obviously, in it for themselves, like take a step back. Don't over nurture the relationship when there's no need to. So this looks like, I would say, a bit of a challenging portrait, but not without possible rewards. It's mainly tricky more than anything else, and it demands awareness and maneuvering and calculation. So that's what I would suggest for you. So the change, I feel the main change is in the realization of what this person is about and the role she plays in your in your pursuit of certain goals or whatever, the specific situation that you find yourself in. So realize what this person is about, and you're going to have to adapt your game to achieve your goals. Okay, so leopard skin, a bit tricky, but lots of helpful tips for you, I think, to run with or tread carefully with, I would say, because of the snake. Take it easy, be calm. You can achieve these goals, but find your way around this person, maneuver them cleverly and cautiously, and let me know how you handle her, how you handle the situation, and if you are able to achieve this goal. So let me know your thoughts again, leopard skin. I'm quite excited for you. Like, there's a bit of mystery here. I'm wondering how it's going to play out for you, and so I'm looking forward to your feedback on it. So I hope you're going to come back and let me know about it. And until we meet again, thank you again for tuning in, and take very good care of yourself. Hello Goldstone group, here we are with your reading. I've got the deck. It is always shuffled between readings, and your beautiful stone here on the side. So for your layout, Goldstone group, I want to do a double line of 5, and I'm going to deal out the cards. Remember that we are looking at what change is ahead for you or what change you need to make. So let's go ahead and deal out these cards. Okay, Goldstone group, here are your cards. This is a really interesting set of cards. The first thing that I pick up is the anchor and whip, which basically means don't stay, which basically means leave or move. I have to wonder if the man might not have something to do with your father, your parents in general maybe, because we have both the lily and the bear very close to this person here. The bear is associated with the mother normally, but also generally with the parents. And the lily often points to someone who is older. And it is a man card because it's the king of spades. And so when these two cards are so close to this person, it can bring out the idea of a parent or a father. The mountain and flowers is another key that I'm seeing through the double line here. It has to do with a return to a place. The flowers is the card of renewal, return, through its association with spring. And with the mountain here, which has to do with a foreign location, a place abroad, not necessarily a different country or even different state or province or anything like that. It could just be a different place, a place that is farther away from you. And so the idea here is that you want to go back instead of staying, and this can have to do with this person here. The clouds brings up some challenges. Maybe this person has issues and you want to go back to them to help them. So I think staying is a bad idea. Going back is a better idea from these cards. And it seems that there is someone who needs some support, or who needs to have some issues resolved, or maybe you need to resolve your issues with them. And again, it doesn't have to be a parent. It can be someone else in your life. But I would say someone relatively important. It can be a manager, for example. The bear is about management. The lily is about work and career. So it's possible. And there's a very clear indication of going back instead of staying. The cross and heart has to do with an important decision here. It can be about a calling. It can be about where your heart is leading you to. You might want to listen to your heart. Maybe that's what's telling you is the key, and make that change. So we've read actually a few of the columns. Let's read all of them to close this part of the interpretation. We have the lily and clouds as the one we didn't read, and I have to wonder if this isn't about health. So the lily can sometimes be associated with health, and I'm just getting a feeling that this could be someone who's struggling with someone like a parent or something. And so with the clouds, there can be an issue here that you want to attend to. But in another context, it can be issues around your career, having to make some decisions, in alignment with the cross and heart. And that's why you can't stick with what you're doing. You need to go and attend to this issue. You need to go back to it and I think polish it up. It's not done. So I think we've read most of the columns. So let's go back to the lines, the big lines, the top, the rows. So the cross and mountain, along with the anchor, lily, and bear. So this definitely has to do with where you live. And the anchor is about, where you're anchored. The lily is about your life on a bigger scale. And with the bear here, I think we're looking at an important decision around where you have a foothold, where you have a base, where you live. And you could be making a decision here about whether you stick with it or you don't. And we saw with the whip here, it's best that you don't. And with the mountain, it's best that you make a change, go back to a different place. Not a new place, a place that you've been to before, I believe. The lily and bear can sometimes bring up legal matters. This is a special combination I inherited from Titania. And there could be some legal affairs that you're after, some legal issues that you need to attend to. Maybe that is what is surrounding this man here. He could be the lawyer or, the person you need to work through these issues with. And so it's important that you go back in order to attend to this. Does this mean that you uproot yourself completely? Not necessarily. I think this is going to depend on your specifics. But the idea of having a foothold or an anchor or something that can hold you in that place is going to be important. The heart, flowers, and then whip, clouds, and man. I think this can, I think your hopes might sour here. Unfortunately, the whip and clouds, they come after the heart and flowers. And I feel that this is a pair of hopefulness and, desire and openness and wanting. And then with the clouds and whip here, this is clear disappointment and challenge. And this comes up with the man here. So what you were hoping to see doesn't materialize. And so this is where you might need to, move back or go and follow up on this and not stick with what you're doing. Also, in a general way, maybe you need to change your ways around something because the way that you've been doing things are not working. So you might want to change them and think a little bit outside the box. And maybe you can get some feedback from this person. Maybe this person has ideas for you for how you can change your ways. And this is a very broad interpretation. It can apply in any area of your life, possibly the work area, your career. That is possible. So on this note, you might also be making a career change. Maybe you're going back to a place where you were working before. I think that the current path is not working and you want to probably break out or break free from it. And even though you break free, there's still some issues to iron out. You might want to see with this person, this man here, how you can move forward from this, if you can go back to this better situation. I feel you need to, there is a phase of adjustment here, you know, but what we do know is that your current path is not working and you need to change that. I would say that's key. Let's continue though. Let's continue building with the lines. Let's move on to the diagonals. We need more clues, I feel. The cross and flowers, anchor, clouds, and bear. What does this tell us? I really think that you want to get to the bottom of the situation. With the anchor, clouds, and bear, it's really important that you don't let go of the situation. You need to get to the bottom of it. And then the heart, mountain, whip, lily, and man. There is a challenge in that location, or a situation that you need to follow up on that location, and that's the situation that you need to pursue and you need to not let go of. But in order to pursue it and to look after it, you have to discontinue what you're doing now. I feel that there could be an interruption to what you're doing. Okay? So if this isn't about changing your waves, it can be an interruption, and you have to, you know, you're like doing your thing and then there's an interruption and you need to adjust and go attend to the situation here that involves this man. This can rock your boat a little bit, but I don't see that you can postpone this. Honestly, Goldstone group, I think you need to attend to it. And also in a general sense, I want to suggest that you release yourself from restrictions. I think you need more freedom, more elbow room in your life. And if you feel that you've been restricted in your current lifestyle, in your current path, then you might want to look at changes. At the same time, I don't think you have all the answers yet. I think you want to make a change. You know that you're feeling like, you know, you want more elbow room, more freedom, and but still you don't have all the answers. So it's good to take a first step and to make a change. In the very least, and that's a really big step, is to acknowledge that you had been putting up with restrictions, or that at this point the status quo is becoming restrictive and is no longer serving you like it was. So it's possible that you've reached the end of a phase and now you're ready to move on to another one. You want to break out of the current status quo, of the current situation, and that's what you need to come to terms with. But then the next steps are not really clear within the next phase for you. You still need to do a bit of consulting, a bit of figuring out. I think this man here can come into the picture to help with that. But because of the clouds, I'm not seeing too many answers yet. But keep committing to the idea of change, to the idea of maybe moving your life from one place to another, not necessarily physically, but maybe metaphorically. And focus on the things that will make you happy or happier and see if you can work that out. I want to add one more interpretation as a possibility here of a scenario playing out for you, and that is the relationship element. It can mean an argument, a disagreement, something comes up that you need to deal with. Now, I'm not seeing the end of a relationship necessarily, but I am seeing the idea that your hopes for this relationship are not maybe what you were thinking. You know, something is challenged and this needs to be figured out. You will need to be clear about whether you pursue this relationship, what it looks like moving forward. And I have to say that this interpretation applies not only in a personal relationship, but it might apply in any other context. So your relationship with a job, your relationship with some people, maybe your relationship with a specific person that is not, an intimate relationship. All of these are possible, but I am feeling that at this point you're feeling restricted and that you want to make a change, and so you need to assess what kind of change you make, and it is relative or somehow it involves this person. Now, one more interpretation or one more possibility, and I've already mentioned this, is the issue of health. So if you have an elderly parent who is going through trouble or is experiencing challenges right now, I think you're going to need to come to their support, and this might be what interrupts you for a little bit at least, and so this can sort of rock your boat. So prepare to adapt to this and to respond to this. It can be a bit rocky, but honestly, it can also be fruitful if you're willing to get to the bottom of the issue and to, get a better understanding of what will come out of it in any number, in any of these scenarios, depending on which one you've resonated with most. So I would say, an interesting set of cards. I would say not really satisfying, I have to say. It doesn't really hit the spot for me. I don't have an aha from these cards, so I feel that you need to work the situation a little bit, to dig deeper into it and to figure out what comes out of this change or release of the restriction, or possibly what turns out to be an interruption. So I'd really love your thoughts on this, Goldstone group. I'd really like to know what you make of it, which of these interpretations or these streams of thought you resonate with most. I'd really love your feedback. And what change are you considering, or do you need to respond to an interruption? Let me know. I'm really looking forward to your thoughts. So thank you so much for tuning in, Goldstone Group, and until we meet again, take very good care of yourself.